Welcome, everyone. In this video, we're talking about grooming and the different kinds of people that get groomed. We're going to look at two specific groups. We're looking at children, and Michelle's going to talk about single mothers and how they get groomed. If you are new to this channel, my name is Joanna Daniel, and my co-host, who I do videos with, is Michelle Peart, and we work at Grooms to Scars. We support adult survivors of childhood trauma and women who experience abuse. So if you're new, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody who needs this education. So today we're talking about grooming, as I said earlier, and I want to highlight grooming is something close to my heart, Michelle, because young people are vulnerable to grooming.
Yes.
And groomers are all over the church. Oftentimes we are blinded to the idea
Yes.
that there's somebody among us who would want to
Mhm.
groom our young people and our children or women that are vulnerable. And so we don't keep our eyes open. We don't know what it looks
Mhm.
like.
Mhm.
I was asked a question whether or not a 20-year-old could groom a young person, like a 16-year-old. And I said, well, yes, because one's brain is more developed than the other.
Yeah.
And I say this to adults, like, look, a teenager is not coming on to you. You are the adult. You're
Mhm.
supposed to be,
Mhm.
you're responsible for how that relationship functions, right? So
Definitely.
we can't use that as an excuse. But saying that, I want to highlight, Michelle, I want to highlight a church. I'm going to share my screen briefly so that maybe people can see this, read it. I will also put the clip for this in the show notes section of this video. So there's this church in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Am I saying that right? Am I saying that
Yeah.
correctly?
Yeah.
And they reported not a member, pastor Corey J. Hertel, who went abroad on a mission trip. He apparently, you know, groomed some young men, boys, and started to,
Mhm.
he sent them money for images, and
Mhm.
so the church found out, discovered, and the church reported it. And I thought,
Mm.
how wonderful that the church reported it, because one of the things that we have to battle with is that churches often don't report their members
Mm. Mhm.
to the authorities. They want to deal with it themselves. Let us fix the problem, and they don't have the skills to fix the problem. So I really wanted to highlight that, and just really, it really gave my heart, it really made my heart feel
Yeah.
good that there was a church who are saying absolutely no way. Our
Yeah.
young people and children, whether they're in this country or not,
Mm.
is important and valuable. And if somebody, whether it's the pastor or just a member, is doing something that is going to harm them, we're going to report it. Now, one of the things I say, Michelle, is I wonder what will happen, because sometimes these people go to prison, they get
Mhm.
baptized, and they come right back. And
Mhm.
so I have thoughts about that, but maybe that's for another video, about what do we do with these people when they come back to church? Should they be allowed back in? And if they're allowed back there, who is safeguarding children and young people who are vulnerable to these individuals? Sometimes I think we feel if they spend some time in prison, that means they're reformed, and
Mm.
that no, they're okay because they've done their time, and now everybody's safe again, and everybody's not safe again. We know that from experience. So I wanted to highlight that church in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in the USA. And Michelle, we're going to talk about this other vulnerable group that is vulnerable to grooming, and some of the ways that that might happen. So you go ahead.
Okay, so I want to address single mothers. I am a single mother of 4 children, and there are many single mothers in Adventist churches, in churches. Yeah, there are single mothers. Um, the church is no longer made up of the nuclear family, the husband, the wife, the 2 children, and some animals sometimes. That is not the case. Churches are made up of young people who do not have any parents, children that are in care that come into church, um, uh, people that are orphaned, all types of scenarios, and that includes single mothers. Now, in my in my line of work as a domestic abuse advocate, what I realized in church is that some men, not all men, but some men, especially men in leadership, tend to navigate to groom single women, and
How do they
especially
do it? How do they do
single
it?
women with children. So this is how they do it. I'm going to talk about 5 different ways in which grooming is utilized towards women. So one is building trust. So perpetrators often start by being extremely friendly. So, for example, they see, and this has happened. I'm going to use myself as an example because this has happened to me in many instances. I come into the church. I have 4 children. This happened when my children were younger, and they would see me, and automatically, for some reason, they will assume that I'm vulnerable. And so what would happen is I would have certain male individuals would start with befriending my children. They want to know where I came from, what my background is, am I married? And then it will be, well, let me take your children home. At the time I wasn't driving. So it will be, well, let me take your children home. And then it will be, do you need anything else? And then sometimes they would, I remember one instinct when my son was very poorly and he was in hospital. And an elder came to me and said, I will come to the hospital with you and bring you some fruits.
He will
Why
come
do
to the
you?
hospital. He will come
Yeah,
to the hospital with you.
yeah. He wanted to come to the hospital with me and bring me some mangoes and bananas.
All right, okay. He'll
So
bring
I'm
food.
thinking, first of all, you can give that to me in my church. Why do you need to come with me to the hospital? And then I will drop you home. So it starts with building the trust.
For
They
sure.
come across as very friendly, assuring. They automatically assume that you're vulnerable because you have no partner and you need help with your children. So it starts with that. The next aspect they will use is isolation. They
Yeah.
try to isolate the victim from their support network, making them more dependent on the perpetrator. So, in my instinct, it would be, there were scenarios where they'll say, well, you better, if you want to know what's happening, you better ask me. Don't talk to sister so and so. Don't talk to brother so and so.
Just
Ask
me.
me, and I will tell you what they're like. I will tell you if they're safe people to talk to. So that means
Oh,
I'm not competent enough to make my own decision as to
no.
whether that person is safe to talk to or not. I have to rely on you. And because I'm relying on you, I therefore do not make friends with anybody else. I'm going to be dependent on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The third thing is desensitization. It
Yes.
gradually exposes the victim to inappropriate or abusive behavior to lower their inhibitions and make them more accepting. So this element comes into when I've built up the relationship with the person, and it may not even be that I'm having a relationship with him, or I'm thinking about him, being a prospective partner. We're just friends at this element. And by this time, he may know something about me. I may have shared some personal experiences, and he's going to use those experiences and try and see if he can bring down my morality. He
Sometimes
may,
through a joke,
yes,
through
yes, yes. A lot of
hearing
joking.
some of their life,
Yes,
just to check, just to see
yeah,
how
yeah.
you're
Just to
managing it.
see, yeah, where do my morals lie? So some of the questions will be, so what do you think about sex before marriage? These are the things that they will come about, or they say, I went to clubbing and it was so good. Would you come clubbing with me? I mean, God is going to forgive you. Would you go out with me? Would you go to the pub with me?
Yeah.
So, it's things that will that they want to see where your morals lie. Are you really, where is your faith base in your Christianity? Are you really that way? So they will ask intrusive questions to see, where your morals lie. 4, manipulation and gaslighting. These are psychological tactics to make the victim doubt their own reality and feel confused or dependent. So this could be to the woman who is in a relationship with somebody now. and he starts to give her promises. He will promise her that he will, he will help her get the job. He knows people that can help get the job. But I have to move in with you first. I need to move in with you and know what it's like to live amongst you and your children. So let
Yeah.
me move in because I plan to marry you, but let's take it one step at a time. Let me move in first. And then when they move in, they're going to want to, they already know your personal information. They may use that to weaponize you. So they may say, well, remember what happened in your past marriage, you might lose. I mean, you lost your husband because of that. You don't want to lose me. So maybe you should listen to what I say.
Yeah.
If I say I'm going to get you this,
That's
I'm
it.
going to get you this. And don't challenge me because you might lose me. Remember, you're a single mother with your children. You can't get anybody else. Nobody's going to want you. And I'm here looking after you. I'm here providing for you. So you should really listen to what I say. So if I'm saying I want to be intimate before marriage, you really should listen to me because nobody else is going to take you.
Nobody else will. And so, Michelle, it moved from, can I take mango and bananas to the hospital,
Yes.
to, I need to move in with you. Nobody else will want you. And so
Yes.
somebody might be thinking, well, aren't they just being nice when they
Yeah.
offer to drop the children home and to bring you something if a child is on the hospital? Aren't they just being nice? No, they're not being nice. But there was a key thing, Michelle, but when you get to the end of the list, I'll ask you something
Yeah.
really crucial that sometimes as individuals, and that's why sometimes I say adults can get groomed too. And these are
Mm.
really key things to look out for. But carry on.
But I'm talking about adults.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you're talking about adults. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the last one is exploiting vulnerabilities. This is the
Hmm.
one that's most harmful. They identify and exploit any vulnerabilities such as emotional needs or past trauma to gain control over the victim. So once again, they already have personal information. You've expressed to them what's happened in your previous relationship. You may have expressed that you were sexually abused. You may express that in your past life you worked as something that people may frown upon, and now you are extremely vulnerable. They have this information, and then they weaponize this information to control you. And it really is detrimental. It is
For
heart
sure.
damaging because once again you have exposed your vulnerabilities to this person. They know all about you, and in order to keep the control, remember I mentioned the power and control wheel. In order
Yes.
to keep that control, they will use this information to weaponize you. And if you and when you stand up, then the smear campaign starts.
Oh, yes.
So I say this to say that as single women, we need to have a lot more awareness about our own environment. Personally, I tend to talk to women more than I do to men, especially if they're married. I do not go and speak to married men by themselves. If I'm asked to do something, or another tactic that I've seen is that certain perpetrators will call you away. Sister so and so, come over here a minute. Come into the back room a minute. I want to talk to you. Well, why can't they talk to me in a public place?
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
these are things that I've experienced, that I've had people come to me and experience. They will isolate you to talk to you. So there are things that you can be aware of.
Yeah.
Safeguard yourself. If you are uncomfortable, when we're talking about meeting and greeting in church,
Trust
if you are
yourself.
uncomfortable, as I am sometimes, of the embrace, I know a person who handshakes, then pulls you in and embraces you. I'm not down for that. I'm not comfortable with that. And I will make it clear, brother, I prefer the handshake. I'm comfortable with that. I'm fine with that. And sometimes it may feel uncomfortable standing up for yourself, making other people aware of your boundaries. If you embrace me in a way that I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to tell you there and then, I really don't like that embrace. Brother, just shake my hand.
Were you
I'm
were you always were you always able to do that? How did you get to the place where, because I'm thinking lots of people don't trust themselves. And when
Yeah,
we're listening to people, they'll say, I felt a certain way. But lots of
yeah,
people don't trust what they're feeling and act on it. And lots of people don't have the confidence to do it.
yeah.
Some people don't understand boundaries. So how did you get to that place where you can say, I prefer a handshake. I didn't like when you do that.
I think I had to, after so many inappropriate hugs and touches and,
Mm,
even inappropriate touches, I came to the place where in my mind, when I come into a church, I'm going to say what I prefer immediately. And that
mm,
took a while, but I would rather people know where I stand now than be uncomfortable. And I've also told my children the same thing. If you are uncomfortable with the way that someone presents themselves, either verbally or in a handshake, it's okay to say, if the children are much younger, maybe between 7 and 10, it's okay to say, my mummy said, my daddy said,
yes, yes.
that's not
So you're
appropriate.
giving the children language
Yeah, we
that
need
they
to be
can use.
comfortable giving,
Yeah.
saying what our boundaries are. But I didn't do that immediately. I didn't know. I
Mm,
didn't know that
mm,
I could
hmm.
um stand up for myself in that way.
Yeah.
But now, people know, and some people may think, oh, Michelle's a bit weary. She's just, be careful of Michelle. But I'm like, yeah, be careful of me. I want you to be careful. I want you to be careful that
Because
I am
that can
still
be
one with
hard
my
to manage.
children.
That can be
Yeah.
hard to manage, though, isn't it? Because now the smear campaign might have started, but what you're saying is, people now know what my boundaries are,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm
Boundaries
okay
will,
with them.
yeah, yeah. And people will know that I am going to say something. If I'm
Yeah,
uncomfortable, I will speak up. And
yeah,
because of that, I may be ostracized in some circles, but that's okay because I have
yeah,
peace of mind.
yeah.
I have peace
You're
of
okay with
mind,
that.
and people may not say so, but I feel that there's a level of respect, and I'm influenced in those who may not have had the ability to be able to do that before. Young
Yeah.
people come to me all the time. Young women come to me all the time and say, Auntie Michelle, is it okay to say this? Is it okay to say that? And they come to me, unfortunately, because they don't know how to approach that with their
Mm.
parents or with
I,
their
lo- I love
guardian.
I love that you give the children and young people language to say when they are not comfortable. My mommy said, my daddy said,
Yeah,
because they might not know. Because sometimes, we train our children to say auntie and uncle, and
yeah.
we train our children to obey and to respect. And so if this is happening, they don't always know that they might also feel. Children will also feel like, this doesn't feel comfortable. This
Oh,
feels off,
absolutely.
but
Yeah.
they might not have language for it,
Language. Yeah.
or the confidence to say anything, or for fear of being told off for telling
Yeah.
an adult no. So we need to
Mm.
give our children language to be able to defend themselves when they need to. So this is good. This is excellent. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Michelle. I mean, for sharing your experience
Yeah.
of what that might look like, because I can imagine a single mom turn up to a church and just want to integrate and
Yeah.
and be comfortable and
Yeah.
want to be pulled in. And if you're new to an area, sometimes women who are fleeing violence is new to an area, and they might think, oh wow, this nice person. Just be aware, if you see these things happening, if your boundaries, because one of the things that groomers do really early is
Mhm.
not respect your boundaries.
Yes.
If you
Oh,
see your
yes.
boundaries are being disrespected, act fast. If you're
There's a red
struggling
flag.
and don't have
Yeah.
boundaries, I have a really good teaching on boundaries. I'll put it below this video. Really take some time to figure out what are my boundaries, and really start to trust yourself, start to believe what
Yeah.
you're feeling and respond. You might need to get support from outside of the church, unfortunately, if you're
Mm.
new to our area, and it's only groomers that are, these people that are coming to look after you. And I have to preface this with, I know we're saying a single mom, but women groom too, our children too. So that
Yes.
point and giving
Yes.
our children language to say when something is off is really,
Yes.
really key. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to this video. When you like the video, YouTube will show it to other people who have subscribed to our channel, and to other people on the platform. And share this video with somebody who you think might need this information. Share it with your church WhatsApp group so that they can have this information, so that they can be informed when anything happens.